Hey everyone, it's Kari, the Little Missouri Mama, and today I thought I would talk about one of my most frequently asked questions in real life as well as on the internet, and that is, how in the world can you afford to be a stay-at-home mom? So for me, the question isn't, how can we afford for me to be a stay-at-home mom? It's how can we afford for me not to be a stay-at-home mom? Let me explain. Now, most of these people who are asking are college educated. They have their college student loans that they have to worry about. A lot of them live in areas that are more expensive than where we live. So they have a higher amount of debt than we do. And they have a lot more experiences than we do. I will probably never be leaving the area in which I live. So most of you know I live in Michigan, in an area of Little Missouri. From what some of you have probably figured out, that's near Flint. The job market here isn't great. I could probably get a nursing job if I wanted to, and I decided to go back to school. I'm not a nursing person. Plus, with my MS, I have a lot of hand and dexterity issues. So even if it was an option for me, there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't be able to do as much of. So I would basically be stuck doing, honestly, minimum wage work. Retail work, food service. I actually looked it up because when I had to quit my job, I got so incredibly lucky and I found a job that I could do for $12 an hour. Now at the time, the minimum wage in Michigan was $8.15. If I were to go back to work after losing my $12 an hour job, I would most likely just be making $8.15. So at that point, minimum wage take home for $8.15 an hour would have been about $11,000 a year. Now, right about the time that I would have been going back to work, my husband got a job that brought him from third shift into the land of the living, as we like to call it. He went from working from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. to about 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it paid better, the insurance was better, but unfortunately that didn't leave me with a lot of flexibility in my own schedule. We would have had to put our son into daycare. And I remember at the time they had just come out with an article. This is 2015. And they had come out with an article, I think the year before, that said that Michigan was the 12th most expensive state for daycare in the United States. And it costs about $10,000 to send a kid to school, to daycare. I would be bringing home about $11,000. $10,000 of that paycheck would get caught up if I were to go to put him in daycare. That's assuming that he didn't have any sort of special little events that he'd have to pay extra for, like a swim day or going to the zoo. That's assuming that I didn't have any dress code. That's assuming that I remembered my lunch every day. That's assuming that I didn't have to pay for gas. When it came down to it, I would be paying to go to work. I would be in the negative to go to work. And do I regret not going to school? Kind of. But personally, I wouldn't give up being a stay-at-home mom. When I was going to school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I originally wanted to be almost like a diplomatic helper, if that made sense, in a foreign country. And then I wanted to be an economist because I had planned on supporting my then boyfriend. He wanted to be a graphic designer. Then I decided on being an accountant, and I hated it, everything. I didn't like what I wanted to do, what I was going to school to do. But it was a job. Now, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I don't sit around all day eating bonbons. I don't sit around all day watching soap operas. I don't clean all day either. Have I done any sort of work-from-home thing? And the answer is yes. I did actually write 2 books. I wrote a book when I was on my medical leave, and then I wrote another book last year, and I was doing promotional stuff, author events, but unfortunately when I'm barely breaking even for those. It's kind of like what it was with getting a minimum wage job. I was barely breaking even for the events. I couldn't really see spending more money on them. I would be more than happy to talk about my books if you're interested in them. They're historical fiction, but I'm not planning on shilling them at all. They actually came about from an interest of mine. I love historical fiction, especially medieval, like the Tudors, Renaissance Fair. I plan on going to the Renaissance Fair this year. I go every year. I get tickets for my birthday, and we enjoy it so much, and I plan on taking you guys there, so hopefully you don't mind. Because I don't want people to think that we are poor and that we can't afford a whole bunch of stuff, and it's not that. It's just we're at that little edge of where, like, financial financial explosions, and kind of being comfortable. And right now we're comfortable. We are most certainly comfortable. But if I were to start working, we would kind of dip below the comfortable, and it's just not worth it, you know? So anyway, I hope I didn't get too confusing. I didn't have a script for this. I just had a couple little notes written down. So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. If you want to see that Renaissance Festival video, that will probably be coming out in October because we always go for my birthday. I plan on doing a farmer's market video this week. I plan on hopefully doing some sort of little fun out and about video. I plan on doing a wash the dishes clean with me because I need to do the dishes. Oops. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're interested. Follow me on Instagram at Little Missouri Mama. And as always, have a good one. Bye.